When you have a lathe, you think different. Don't it's the old thing, because all you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Do an old shop trick. Back in high school shop, we had a bunch of. Before you do, I want to show you the results of putting the new cork on Bob the other day. I'm going to turn the brake off. Well, you can see it better up here. I want to turn the brake to off, and that cam pulled the cork pad off. We'll turn it to. That is 800 RPMs. We'll turn it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to turn the brake on. Go fast again. Up to 800. 2, 3. Stopped at about 50% faster. Well, hi folks. Welcome back. Sorry I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. Just medicine I take kind of makes my brain a little foggy. Some people say that's an improvement. On does. Anyway, today's video is going to continue on with making my horizontal welding rotator out of an old LiftMaster sliding gate operator. Now, I'm not going to take you through the whole steps. I'm going to take you what can be just a minor show of what I've been doing. Got the brakes on. This, at one time in its long life, was a master, I think it's GS, I don't remember. All I do know is this was a light commercial sliding gate operator at one time in his life, and I rescuing it from the scrapyard. Might notice I've taken off everything that was not needed, and the only thing I'm left with is this gear reducer and this 24-volt motor. I got an old grinding, or it wasn't grinding, it was an old lathe that didn't have a back on it. So I made this back assembly so I could put it on this, and with the addition of the speed control and a power transformer, got all I need. Now, when I made the one that's the vertical rotating one, I didn't have to do anything special because basically everything was centered over the machine. Well, the minute I slid this weight on, I thought, uh-oh, because this back part started lifting up. You got to have a little bit more counterweight. So this, believe it or not, is an old weight from one of the telescopes I made about 35 years ago. It's been used as a door stop for about 15 years. And I just drilled a hole and mounted it back there. So now I can hang stuff over here without making it lose its balance. I'm down to the part today of putting the ground system in. Now, if you watch Pakistani machinists and guys from other countries, they don't have a negative lead that's very long, so they use a piece of rebar or old metal, anything they can. And then they run it to the machine and probably weld it on. And so all the electricity that's used at the welding, the negative ground comes up through all the machine parts out to there. That can really mess up bearings. So I've been making these where they come off this end part and use a copper strap, grounding strap, to go along the shaft. So the ground, when it hooks onto this, goes directly to here, and it bypasses all the gears. You know, it probably doesn't mean anything, but I got lots of time, so why not? This is a piece of old electrical conduit wire I had, and this little piece was something I made like 30 years ago that would plug into an old welder. So I rescued it out of the parts box, and this is going to be where you can clamp onto it with your negative lead. And it's going to probably stick out the bottom, something like this, where you can grab it. And so my chore today is to finish out the rest of the grind electric here. And basically what I've done is these are existing holes that the rollers for the chain go on. And I drilled a hole down here and made an insulating part for that. That was out of my scrap box too. So now I need to come down to this area and make it tight, and then run the ground through that hole. And to do so, I'm going to use Bob the lathe. Also, I'm going to have to take in, I like to make a cover for this using its old cover. Now the slide gates all have this open in the back so that as it goes over, it'll clear the shaft and everything. Well, by putting on that vise or chuck, I've got to come out here and cut some more. I'm going to use my little vibrating tool, reciprocal tool. It cuts it up real nice. And then I'll find some place in here to mount that. And shoot, it's almost done. A little close-up of what I've done. That's just the standard 24-volt motor. It's DC, so it can use this speed controller. Same setup I did for the swing gate operator. But this is all that's left of the LiftMaster plus the base. Oh, thank you, Kurt. A major sticker to put on the board. Thanks a lot, guys. Now, I can put this in other places, but I got a feeling I'm going to be sitting right here as you do your welding. So I'd rather not have anything in this area. So I was thinking about coming out this side with it and strapping it and let it come out on that side. I think that's what I'm going to do. First, I need to make the insulation bushing so that this can go all the way through without touching this metal. And what I come up with I don't know why I even tried. I started off with going to do this in CAD, but it took me longer to fire up CAD than just sketch it out. This is just a piece of, I don't know what kind of metal it is, or plastic is. I think it might be nylon. Anyway, I'm going to leave a flange here with a boss on it, and the boss will go through the hole. And then this part over here will have the bolt that attaches the electrical rings to this, and so it'll keep this cover tight against there, and this will get there, and there's no way for the ground to touch the frame. Hi folks, this is Bob, for those of you that don't know. Bob is a 1977, I think, chucker lathe. It's handy as all get out for little things like what I'm going to do today. We're going to make an insulator so that the ground doesn't touch the frame. It's a piece, I think it's ultra high weight molecular, maybe a nylon. Doesn't matter, it came out of scrap and it's going to be perfect. Bob has a collet system that I have a lot of collets over here that you can use. Can you see over here? Got another tray. Of course, you don't always have the one you need. I needed a 1/2 inch square the other day, and I go up to 3/4. So I did something else. Anyway, they don't make a collet big enough for this on Bob. So we got to put the 3-jaw chuck back on, which is pretty simple. I've got a collet in there now, so I'm going to take it out. Now, once I've got the screw, it's a screw-on collet, screw-on vise, chuck. This is important if you want to keep your lathe bed nice. Always put your wood block underneath so you don't ding up the bed. Need a rag to clean all this up. That's kind of dirty in there. Now, a lot of you probably think, why don't I just get the air hose and blow this away? The air hose can blow these fine chips into the body of the chuck and wear it out very quickly. The same way, I don't have a gun to clean off Bob. I just push stuff into places that it shouldn't be. So, fast seals and all the good stuff. So I use a brush. I don't know what it is with me. I keep hitting myself on something. Different things leaking again. Make sure you don't screw this up. Good thing about Bob is it's got a brake for the spindle. I push that in, it will try to engage in a hole, which it did. And it also turns it so that these don't work. A little safety feature. Tighten it up a little bit. I have another project to use this on. So what I think I'm going to do is just turn the scroll on it down, get to the right side without flipping the jaws around. Oh, wait, Oiler. This is the oil hose for the coolant system. It gets in my way sometimes. I think that'll be good. Breaks off on the spindle. Now everybody looks at my Bob and thinks that all this stuff is rusted up. It's not. It's a film of the oil from years and years of oil going on here and coating it. That's why I don't really want to stop that, because it's protected so well. All right, let's get out of the way. Oh, that's pretty bad. In there, the intention. It's even worse. Do an old shop trick. Back in high school shop, we had a bunch of South Bend 14s. They were tornado or something, but they all had a lot of wear in them. But if you're trying to get something that's running true, we used to use, they had Thompson tool holders on them, tool posts, lantern tool posts. At school, they had lantern tool posts on all the 14s. And we just take the tool holder and turn it around so we could back it up and push against the piece we're trying to set. Let's see how well that did. Not too good, huh? See if I can make it work better on this. Better. And if it's metal, it gets even better because you're not pushing against a flexible plastic. All right. Everything I'm going to do is going to be off this back part over here. And the solder dimension doesn't have to be critical. Okay. Let's let the little clutch go and see how we clean it up. It'll go a little faster. This here is the speed control for Bob. It's got a drive assembly under here like a Reeves drive, and it has a screw sticking up that the nut goes up. By up and down, it will take and change the position of that drive to get bigger electrically. That's why this speed 1 and 2 has 2 different numbers on it. Speed 3 is the high speed stuff. Just cleaning this up to around. You know, when you have a lathe, you think different. You know, it's the old thing, because all you got is a hammer Everything looks like a nail. Now with the lathe, every piece of scrap drop off, anything, looks like something I could use. Okay. We'll get this little thing off. Smoothed it up very nice. Well, this thing's going in a part of the machine that nobody will ever see, but it's still nice to be doing it nice, keeps you in practice. My fingers would keep in practice so we could get this off. Okay. Looks like I stopped a little bit too soon. I couldn't see because of all the stuff coming on. There, it took care of it. Okay. Now I need to clean this face up. But I'm going to wait a minute until I do something else. This is the bolt I'm going to use. So I need to get a drill for it. Looks like 5/16 would be the perfect size. Now I have a stop set up back over here. That stop aligns with the center hole of each one of these tool holders. So this one's the only one that really matters, or that drill back there. But if I line that up with that stop, so now I'm going to do clean off the stuff from it. This stop right here. And I put it there, you can adjust it and move it all around, but I left it there for that reason. Now, put you on the carousel. Now we're ready to drill. Break off. Let's move this out of the way. Turn you all around. See if it goes in. That'd be perfect. A lot of the resistance is right here where the face of that is kind of bowed up from drilling. But let's take you around. Hold on. Now, we'll turn up the speed a little bit more. Going to gear 2. There we go. Go one more to it. Carriage lock here. Turn that up a little bit, go a little faster. Carriage doesn't lock to the machine. It's controlled by another electric motor over here. Doing it again, electricity is flashing. Be over here, 0.210. So what I'm going to do is put an indicator here, and I'm going to center that on 0. So to get to where I need to be, that is 100 thousandths. That is 200 thousandths. Need 210. Get back up and sneak up on it. There's 210 thousandths. So let's start a line on there. I don't know this way will cut it like this. But now I have to go in to the right diameter. Sorry about the delays. I can't stand up very long. Okay, what I'm going to do is, in the interest of saving time, I didn't change the bit out. I left the one I usually do. And it's on sort of a slant with the inside being lower than the outside. So what I'm going to do is start it up, unlock the carriage, and go out with it. And then I can come back, watch my dial indicator, back to 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Don't know why I did that, because I need to measure it. It's over there by the wheelchair. Doing a little bit better. I just don't have good balance. The bottom of my feet feel like they were, they got blisters on them, but there's no blisters. That's 1 inch and 83 thousandths. What am I going to? 540. Back to 1 Put my 10. There I'm going. So I know I'm at the right depth there. And I know that it's flat. I know I can go into 540. Let's go. All right, here we go. $970. Alexa, 970 minus 84.
Sorry, I didn't get that. 970 minus what?
84.
I don't understand what you meant by that question.
Technology. Alexa, 970 minus 540.
970 minus 540 is 430.
430. Okay, I'm going to use this dial and go in, and we'll check it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Let's go out. That doesn't want to work. Got another one. Let's see what we're down to. $890. That's about right. Back to the shoulder, right there. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Oh, 70. You know, I'm wondering if my measurement's right, because I'm getting down close. It says 540. I'm going to go measure that hole again. I might be screwed up here. Get the wheelchair. Go over here to the... You know, I sit here and go through this hard part of getting my body to do what it used to do. And sometimes late at night I don't feel all that up to it, and just kind of pissed off that this happened a little bit. But then I remember, there's other people that'll never get any better. I used to take a lot of those people to the hospital. I don't know how they did it day after day. Let's go. Come on. 602 is what we're going for. $602. Oh. Now I have 696. So 94 thousandths off. Well, we're making progress. Right there's my depth. And I know that's the shoulder depth and the depth of cut. So basically, I'm going to take 70 and go from there. 10, 20, 30, 40. 50, 60. Here's 70. $610. 60. 607. And I'm just going to take a cleanup cut of 10,000. It'll give it a little bit of, doesn't have to be precise, close enough. Okay. There's my depth. Let's see where we are. 6.1. That's good enough. So now we're going to let you guys go on a carousel ride. I don't need you in anymore. I'll take you out. We are. Changed to a small parting tool that I use. Come out. Let's go over here. Thank you, Mighty Mag. You did your trick. And basically, I'm just making this to where it's an insulating bushing. That's all I need. It's see if it'll feed in. I think it'll go deep enough. Just got to go to match that hole in the drill through the center. It'll come off any time now. There we go. Been looking through all my tools lately and trying to find all the pieces for my step tool cutter. Forgot what it was, a Hereg or something like that. Just a regular bit will cut this. Herring step tool. Supposed to put synchronous, I wasn't synchronous, it was a helix tool, a helix cut on it. There we go. Got it all cleaned up. This is the bushing that'll go on from the outside. The contact will be going through a bolt through here, and this boss will keep it insulated against the frame on the inside of that sheet, quarter-inch thick frame. So that's one part done. Now the other one's easier. The other one, getting tired. I can't stand up this long. It's going to be the same outside diameter, but made with a indentation in here so that this will go up against it and slide in beside it. So this just has to be almost flush. Let's cut this that much. So we just need to go in there a little bit. You guys going on a spin around again. And the best tool I have, airplane going over, probably going to, I don't know where it's going. Might be my friend up in that other, it's got the airplane. Can't remember the name, Nacogdoches. He came and got me and we went and looked at a lathe for him. Maybe someday we could do it again. Okay, forward. Doesn't have to be a big one. That looks just about right. Let's run this to deburr a little bit. Now we're doing a part tool. Making you guys dizzy. It's got to come out a lot. Holding on to the lathe. Hopefully I can work this off before it gets to be too much. Now I'm going to make it a little thicker on this side. I don't want to lose my registration, so I'll come back in the same groove I've made. But I do want to I'm going to reset my mag base for this. Okay, there's 0. I don't have any tools that would be exactly perfect this loaded up. Maybe this one will give enough of a bevel. Back to, that's my 0 where I was. I just want to clean up that edge a little bit. This is just being a little facetious. Okay, let's go out here. I cleaned that edge up. Y'all weren't even watching. Oh gosh. I have to go all the way around again. Okay. Back to 0. We'll go ahead and part it all the way off. This is the same drill bit I used. This will work. Trying to open that hole up a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's just a good one. Trying to get down pick something off the floor. Oh, I got it. Well, there's how this is going to go together. I'll take you over there and we'll look at it on the machine. Turn Bob off. Pick up you guys. It's funny, when I walk, if I have something in my hand or something, it acts like a counterbalance. I think it makes my muscles feel, I think it makes my muscles feel like they're preloaded. So if I'm holding something here, I'm trying to hold it up instead of just being out here in space. That's my theory. Well, that theory, I'm hoping I can use a crutch, or not a crutch, but a cane. Right now, I'm limited by how far I can walk by my strength in my back. I still have a nerve back there that if I don't lay off, it hurts. Well, anyway, there's the inside and there's the inside, and they go like this together, and we'll squeeze into this part over here. I can move over there. Turned on another camera. Okay, wheeling into position. This is it's got to turn around so you can see. That's the hole we're going to put this in. Yay, it fits. And yay, it doesn't stick out too far past the inside. So that'll keep that screw from hitting. Be up there looking up, down, we're all around somewhere, huh? Crap. Left a bolt over there. Maybe not. Maybe there's one here. Yeah, here's one. It's just a regular bolt I took out of the bag. Put a washer on either side so it spreads out the force around this thinner piece of nylon. What are you doing? Go back on. Number 2 camera has problems. Okay. Gotta screw the washer. This piece is in place. That's on. But now I gotta hook it up to this. And we're going to the top one. They're the same. I'm doing that because it's about how much spring pressure needs to be put on it. I want to look up instead of down. Look down instead of up. Might see more. Okay. This is going to go like this. It's going to go through here. And that's all there is to it on this side. On the other side, we're going to have another washer and a nut. And then when I put the little ferrule on with a lug on the other end that will screw on. So once this goes in, it doesn't have to come out again. There we go. That puts some pressure on it. Now we need this piece facing the right way, and another load spreader washer. Tighten that up. There we go. That's what it looks like on the inside. And this is completed out here. As it spins around, it'll maintain contact. Pretty nice, just the right tension. So now the electricity will come from this up the wire to this, and then to that. And that'll bypass any bearing grooves. I'll finish this up with a can, and then I'll get on to knocking that out, and this thing will be finished. Thanks once again to Kurt. I think it's Kurt Fish, P-H-I-S-H. Wasn't really sure, but if I'm wrong, tell me. I'll make you another CAG. Thanks for watching.